you everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be applying a coat of paint to this here building. Now let me talk about the tools you'll need. I'm not using a paint sprayer, so what I'm going to use is a roller with a nice heavy thick nap. Now the nap is this fluffy bit right here. Okay? A nice thick nap will allow you to push the paint into the seam of this 8-inch on center groove paneling. It's really important that when you apply it, that it's able to roll it into those grooves. If you use too thin of a nap, it'll push it all over the top, and then you'll end up with no paint going in between into those corners and crevices. Now, another thing you'll need is your handy dandy paintbrush. You got different widths for different size trims. So this will actually cover the entirety of the 4-inch wide of the trim board. And then this one, it's a little bit skinnier. I might even go and grab a smaller one yet. Just so that I can cut in along the edges of my trim boards. I have a handy dandy lid from an ice cream container, one of them gallon ones. It's going to be a great place for me to be able to set down my paint brushes as well as my paint sticks. Because as you open each gallon of paint, you're going to want to give it a quick stir, even if you have gotten it freshly shaken, just to make sure that anything on the bottom of the paint container gets stirred up, because paint will settle in layers and it's got different different molecules, or not molecules, but the pigments and everything else that are in it have different sizes, and they'll settle and they'll separate. And then of course we have our paint. We're going to be applying a gray, not too unlike my house. From True Value, it's going to be Seawall Gray. And it's just me and my daughter today, so expect many boisterous opinions from the crowd. Alright, so some other things that I got going on here is I have this blue paint tray liner. It just really saves you on cleanup. And then of course I forgot to mention, we're going to use our paint can opener to get into this here paint can. But if you don't know that you need a paint can opener to get into a paint can, well, I'm not sure why you're watching the video. So, and I'll be attaching an extension pole to my roller so that I can reach those high places. Now, I'm going to check to see if you guys can see this, which you can't. I'm going to have to lift this bucket up. It's a great example of how the paint settles and how it separates right there. See? And of course the back screen went away, so I can't tell what you're seeing. Let's see if we'll hit a clicker here. Okay. So yeah, there you go. You could see definitely how we've got the darker gray pigments are sitting around on top. We got this thickened stuff in the middle, and there's kind of like a greasy sheen to it. That's just because everything that's in this paint separated out because it's been setting for 3 or 4 days. So that's why we use a paint stick that's down here. Or if you want to get fancy about it, there's a drill attachment that could go on the end of a drill that'll mix your paint. But I really caution against using those because you can get wildly out of hand with those. You can get so easily just end up mixing the paint so hard because these are only like a fraction of an inch below the line of the top of the bucket. And if you mix them too hard and too fast with the drill attachments, then what you'll end up with is just splashing a good portion of your paint just everywhere. And all I need to do is, you can see here in a second, I've already got all this paint mixed in and it's looking pretty consistent already. I'm going to do a little folding up, see if there's anything at the bottom that's coming up. I really don't see anything, so that means the stuff that has separated is already folded in. So this took me just a few seconds of just a little bit of light swirling in there. But there's some cottage cheese at the bottom, so let's do a little bit more mixing here. And by cottage cheese, I just mean that there's like some heavy solids that are sitting at the bottom. As you were to pull up your stick, you would notice, see that there's nothing at the bottom of it right now. But I don't know if you were able to see it when I pulled it up the first time. There was some real thick, goopy stuff there. Alright. So now, the most important thing is I'm going to take this. Yes, Peanut. I'm going to take this and I'm going to set it somewhere where I'm not going to step on it. Otherwise, you just track paint around. Same thing goes for this paint can lid, because you're going to leave, well, because I'm going to be pouring it in there, I'm not going to be leaving it laying around. I'm just going to lightly set it on top. So let's pour it into our tray so I can get the paint bucket. I'll give you a quick look. See, it didn't take me long, and it didn't take much to mix that paint up properly. Nice even pour. There we go. And again, you're going to want to set that down somewhere where it's not going to be in the way and you can step on it. But you also don't want to set it somewhere where it's going to get all dirty and stuff too. With this part of the application process, it's really not all that much of rocket scientist. Not that much of rocket science here. You're just looking for nice long up and down motions to give you nice long paint marks, I guess, so that it just keeps you from having those funny little, when the sun hits it, you have streaks everywhere if you don't do it, just nice sweeping motions. Now you'll see that sometimes you just have to do some of those short bursts just to work some paint in. So, well, let's start applying. you save the plastic from your nap, you can actually temporarily put it in there if you have to stop and say, take care of it, baby. So, don't rip it all the way out. Alright everybody, so this is what we got after one coat of rolling, and apparently my nap just is not thick enough and it's not getting in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits with the roller for doing the main part of painting. I'm gonna bust out the old handheld sprayer, and that's how I'm gonna take care of the rest of this. The wind is kind of kicking up right now, so I'm gonna have to wait till the wind dies down a bit, because the paint sprayer I got really turns that stuff into a heavy mist, and I'll just lose half of it if I just go ahead and get to painting right now. So we will start this up again here in a few. Apparently the heavy nap roller that I need is like a super heavy roller, or it's a super thick nap, I should say, almost like you're gonna wipe your cat on use it to paint your house or something. So like I said, we'll pick this up. I'm not happy with how that turned out, so we're gonna move to the sprayer now. Alright, I gave it a little bit of thinking, and because I'm going to be using the paint sprayer now, I'm going to have to put this camera in that heavy housing, which means I'm going to lose all my audio. So this is the side that I'm going to be working on. I'm going to hit it all with the sprayer, and we're going to see if I do any better as far as coverage goes. And the thing about when you lay it on with the sprayer is you still have to go and back roll. So I'm not able to completely give up on the roller. So what you do is you paint it with the sprayer, and you get out that roller and you push that paint into the cracks. That's the most important part, is to always back roll your spraying. I'm going to be a one-man band most likely, because my wife doesn't want to be on camera. So I'm going to have to spray it, and then I'm going to have to back roll it all myself. So next time you see me, we'll be spraying and back rolling. Wish me luck. Alright, real quick here before I get to painting, I'm going to let you see what I've got going on here. This is a Wagner Power Painter. It holds about, I'd call it about quart of paint at a time. It has back here, it has how heavy you want to lay the paint on, and it goes all the way from paint to stain. Stain you lay really, really lightly. But I highly recommend all Wagner products as far as painting goes. They all do really, really well. This thing here is loud and obnoxious. It's like running a tattoo gun on steroids. If you've ever been around a tattoo gun, they're like got that really loud buzzing noise. Well, this is that loud buzzing noise times 10, man. It's crazy. But that being said, it does a decent job for what it is. I still would recommend that you get a full-size painter if you're going to be doing a whole house. But for what I'm doing, this'll just get it done. But this is a great product to have for small projects. All right, we're gonna get back to it then. Alright everybody, the sun's getting low, so we're going to try and get a quick tutorial here on how to put on some nice trim paint. First lesson, if you're using the can, don't put your whole stinking paintbrush in there. You only want to do about an inch, half inch, 3/4 of an inch of the tip of your bristles. You load it all up with paint, you're just going to have a mess. Alright? Now, you definitely want to do nice, long, even strokes. The long, even strokes are going to give you the best looking finish. And then it's also best to use a paintbrush that's pretty close to the same size as the trim that you're putting it onto. Pretty simple. Well, that's it for this video. We'll see you again soon. See what kind of trouble I can get into tomorrow. Later, everybody.